Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is good to have everybody back, and thank you guys for the love that I've been receiving. I really appreciate it, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that whatever I'm sharing is helping someone out there into their finance life and everything else in between. So today's topic is very interesting, but before I go on to today's topic, please guys do not forget to subscribe to the channel and share the channel to your friends and family so they can all be financially smart. So welcome to today's channel. Okay, today's installment that I have is all about saving. So my topic today is saving. I just want to share some more light information about saving, and some other people I know that find it very hard to save and everything. So I just want to share some insight about saving and what it all means. So today that's what the topic is about. And before we go on to this video, I just want to share it out there that all what I'm gonna be sharing here it doesn't come from a financial advisor or a debt counselor. It's just come from a person who just uses the information that is out there and outline it and wants it to share in the channel. And that information is to help you to be more wiser into your making decisions. So please don't take it as it is. It's just a financial advice that I'm here to share with you guys. So let's get to it. I just want to share the types of savings that we have. So I've listed 5 types of savings that we have that you should look into saving into. So one is saving money into a saving account where you earn interest. One is saving your money and saving it and putting it in a pocket, so where you direct the money where it's supposed to go. And 2 is using a stokvel as a saving option so that you get your money in a lump sum to pursue any project you want to fulfill. And then that was 3. Number 4 is investment. This one is associated with taking a risk. It can be saving in a market, it can be saving in purchasing of assets, it can be saving at unit trust, it can be at different types of investment that you can have into shares and everything else in between. So this one is mostly associated with risk, but I'll just explain when as I go about. And number 5 is purchasing equity. It is a part of equity is anything that you would own, assets and everything else. So this will form part of the saving options that we have. All right, so now that we have all these five types of saving, I went again and listed them into 3 different layers so that we understand where to start and when we can go to the next level, so that you can pace yourself into your saving plans, so that you understand what is primary, considered a necessity, considered a second necessity, and considered a third necessity. So that's why I separated them into 3 layers. So number 1 layer, I name it primary level. So primary level saving option is where you're saving your money in a pocket. So basically you taking your money when you earn it and you putting it in a saving pocket, or other people even go as far as transferring that money to a different bank account so that it sustain you throughout the month. And on this primary level also we have stokvel. So also this is where you take your money into a group of people, you pay each other money, and then you get that money back as a lump sum. So these are primary level saving options because these options, they don't pay any interest. So basically you don't earn anything for putting them for putting your money in the pocket or taking your money into a stock file, you wouldn't get an extra interest on them because they don't pay any interest. But they are still worth using and they are still necessary for you to do them. So these options are basically more like money management or money control. So basically you are controlling your money, how you're gonna use it. So if you put it in a pocket, you're trying to say, I'm not gonna use it now, but it have to sustain me for the rest of the month. It also needs to sustain me for anything that may come about that I need to solve, like any emergency, like school, kids getting sick, and them losing anything or whatsoever, or your car or whatsoever can come as an emergency. So basically you're saying, for this month I am gonna put this money in a pocket so that it sustained me. So it's more like money control or money management. It's not necessary bearing any interest. Same thing with the stock file. Sometimes you want that money in a lump sum so that you can do a project. Normally us as South African people, we like to do, especially African people, we like to do imicimbi and everything in December. So you want to give this money to different people so that when it comes back to you, it comes as a lump sum so you can fulfill a project, whether it's a house project, whether it is a Thanksgiving in your family, whatever that you may need that money for. So this is a primary level saving options that I presume that we should all have as South Africans. Number two, second level tier of saving, I call it secondary level saving option. So this one is, you have I have two things in there. I have a saving money in a saving account and investment. So this portion where you saving money in a saving account, so basically this is saving money in a saving account, it bears interest. So this is when you save your money in a place where it will accumulate as you has invested it. It can be in a once off, it can be every month option. So I'm gonna go and explain those options that you have under saving account. But for now, I just want you to understand the secondary level is when you do a saving that will bear an interest. So you will get an interest for investing or saving this money in these options. So this one starts from as little as 250 per month. So this one is where the options are available too. And this one is normally where people feel like they need to have like a lot of money for them to do it. But it does have options, different options that you can do to ensure that you save, and in whatever way you save, you bear interest. And then obviously, and however the interest that you earn differs with the money you're investing, it differs with the month that you are investing on it. So it always differ with those things. So you must always be aware that the interest you pay might differ to however you earn it. But the main point of this option, or the main point of this act, is for people to save. It doesn't, sometimes it differs with what you want to do. So the interest really that you're bearing might be little, but the most important thing is that you are keeping the principle of saving. Whenever you can't save a big lump sum of money, but you can save as little as 250, the principle is kept and you are doing it, so that whenever you have a big amount of money, the principle you already kept and you know that you need to save. So here is to ensure that people use a principle of saving. So also in the same level, we have investment. So investment is you earn interest, but this interest is associated with a risk. So basically an investment is when you invest in something. Yes, you accumulate interest in it, in whatever you invested, but whatever you have invested in is associated with risk, and the risk depends on the appetite of the risk that you have. So this is still on your secondary level. There is investments that are more safer, there are investments that are more aggressive in the highest risk. So it depends on how you want to do this one. So this is also on the second layer. So I'm going to also be explaining a little bit more details on these two options later on. I just wanted to explain the 3 layers for now. So I wanted to explain this is also possible on our day-to-day lives. This is also possible on us people who don't earn a lot of money. It's also possible to people that also earn a lot of money. So it is a possibility, and I will try to explain that on the next option as I try to explain. And then my third layer, I call it a tertiary level of saving option. So this one is when it's more about retirement, it's more about education life, it's more about life cover. So this one is the tertiary one, where it's like if you have mastered the 2 levels, then you can ensure that the third level is also covered. So I know that as employees, most of the time as an employees, if you are employed somewhere, normally you are prepared to pay for a pension fund. So by default, you are automatically safe in this. But there are other options besides you having that money as retirement that is paid by the employer. There are other options that you can invest in for ensure that your retirement is expanded beyond what the employer can provide for you. So there are many options like that, and also same thing for freelancers and entrepreneurs. So there are options that they can choose from. As little as from 500 rands, you can choose a retirement plan that will ensure that when you retire safe, because you're not only gonna work all the time. So you need to ensure that you save so that you can retire safe, and you can still keep the same standard of living even when you have retired. Same thing as education fund. This one is the option when you have kids, so that your kids, they don't suffer when they have to go to school. So you pay for them an education fund every month, and then you change the maturities. Can be when they were 18, it could be when they are 16, when they're going to high school. So this option is also available for parents out there, that they ensure that they have an education fund. This starts from little as 200 rands every month. So please guys, look out for many options that are there to ensure that you secure a safer future for your kids and for yourself. And then life cover. I know that most of the time as people, we need a life cover, especially if you have a house, if you have a home and everything like that. Mostly I define a life cover as something that pays for your death when you die. So basically, when you die, whatever you own, that's what the life cover should cover. So whatever you own, sum it up and look at your life cover if it will cover everything else. Because what we're trying to avoid is for you to have debts when you die, and then those debts are carried to your children. So the life cover is for that purpose, that you ensure that it covers your debts. Mostly could be your house, your house, your car. It could be also any loans that you might have. So just ensure that you have a life cover, so that any debts you have, it doesn't carry on to your kids, so that they can live a debt-free life, so that it's not a recurring thing to always be living in debt. So that's mainly what I would say a life cover is, and it's a necessity. And I know that most South Africans probably do have this one due to them owning some different assets as a security to banks, so that even when you die, we can take this life cover and pay for your house. So that will be your tertiary level saving. But for today, I'm gonna talk about the different perspective on the second level saving options. So I'm gonna first start about talking about the saving money in a saving account. What options do you have when you... Okay, the saving level option, as I mentioned, I have 2 things: saving and saving account, and 2, an investment. So the options that you have under saving money in a saving account, remember, this saving money in a saving account is the one that bears interest, not putting it in a pocket. Is one that where you invest in it, it bears an interest even if it's small, but what it does, it pays an interest. So this is what the three options that you have there. Under saving option, you have assets accumulating saving option. Assets accumulating saving option is where you start from as little as 250, where you have an option to have access to your money that you're saving immediately. When you have access to your money where you save it for 32 days, where you have access to your money when you save it for maybe 6 months, 3 months, 12 months, and any different months that you want to save it for. So these are the different options of months that you have to this option of saving. So meaning you can have access to your money in those different stances. And these are the options where you can also have options of having to do a debit orders to them. So basically you can start from as little as 250 and do a debit order from them every month. So the immediate the trick is in this option that I mentioned. Remember, we're still under assets accumulation. Under assets accumulation, you have about 3 options. You have where you have money, you can get it immediately, or you can get it in 32 days, or you can invest it for over 6 months to 12 months and above. So you have these 3 options. So under these 3 options, it also, the interest rate differs according to these 3 options. So when you have these 3 options, your interest rate that you can accumulate is different. So if you have it as an immediate, the interest rate is less. If you have it at 32 days, the interest rate is a bit more than the immediate. Same thing when you invest it for more than 6 months or 12 months. The interest rate becomes a little bit higher than when you have access to it immediately. So that's what's different about them. So it all depends on how much interest you want to have on this. Also, what I would advise people is when you choose these options, understand what this money is for. Would you need this money immediately? Would you not need this money immediately? And you can have 2 options to it. You can even have 3 options to it. You can use all 3 of them every month. The one that you want to have immediate access to it, you can start with 500 rand or 250. And then the one that you don't want to have access with, you can go about, you have 1,000 rand that you deposit on it every month. The one that you want to invest for a longer period, maybe you want this money to use it for your December thing, and you want to set it at 12 months, you can then say 1,000 rand access to it. So you can have all of 3 of them at the same time, just separate them according to what you will need at the time. I hope I'm making sense. So you can have all these 3 options and just differentiate them according to what you need at that time. So don't put all your money. If you have an option to say, okay, every month I have ability to save 800 rand, you're not gonna always need that money in 800 rand immediately every month. Therefore, do not put it all in an immediate saving option. Rather, segregate it to a different investment option so that you can get the best interest. I hope I'm making sense. So that you level out your money so that you don't have access to all of it at once, because the minute you have access to it all at once, you can take it out at once and then forget about the goal that you have set for yourself that you really want to achieve. So please do segregate it. So that's what we have on option number 1, which is called the assets accumulation saving option. And then option number 2, under still saving account, we have what you call a fixed deposit. So a fixed deposit, it differs bank to bank. It differs from bank to bank. And most banks starts a fixed deposit from 1,000 rand. Most then African banks start their saving fixed deposit saving option from as little as 500 rand. So a fixed deposit, it basically means that you are saving a fixed amount of money at once for a number of periods. So normally it starts from 3 months to over and above to 24 months. So a fixed deposit, you are saying I have 1,000 rand that I can save now in January because I'm not gonna need it, and then I'm gonna make it a fixed deposit. I want this money, I want this 1,000 rand only in June. So you're gonna invest it for about 6 months as a fixed deposit. And remember, a fixed deposit earns a higher interest than the assets accumulating interest. Hence why you want to do that fixed deposit if you have access to money. So most people that works in corporate, they normally have like incentives, also have like bonuses, and anything. It can be anything where you get money to. And then most other freelancer people, also freelancer entrepreneurs, normally you do a certain job, you get a lump sum of money. So this option is the best option that you can use, because you want to save that money for when you actually need it, and you want to use it in a fixed deposit where you can accumulate the highest interest than assets accumulating interest, right? So this fixed deposit starts from as little. African Bank starts from 500 rand. Other banks, they start from as 1,000 bucks. So that's how much you can save on a fixed deposit. And then a fixed deposit interest differs from different banks to different banks, and currently the African Bank is offering the best interest rate on a fixed deposit at the current moment. So these are the options or banks you can use. It's not necessary when you have a fixed deposit you can use the bank that you're using, but you can use a different bank that offers the highest interest rate so that you can get the best value for money. Okay, so now the fixed deposit opens a different layer, which is called a tax-free deposit investment. So a tax-free deposit investment is an investment that you invest. It's a money that you invest that is subject to be taxed, but you want to invest it so that it doesn't get taxed. So this is not applicable if the money that you already are investing is not tax payable. So if it's for a shorter period of time. So if the money that you're investing is for a shorter period of time, which is your assets accumulating and saving option, so that is not subject to tax as well. So you can't use that tax-free deposit investment. A fixed deposit can be, and you can have a tax-free free option of investment. So it can you can have that access if you're gonna invest your money for longer than 12 months. So it has to be that you invest in that money for more than like a 12 months type of period. So a tax-free deposit investment also is subject to maximum of 36,000 a year. So you can't invest in a tax-free investment option for an amount that is more than 36,000. Its maximum amount that you can invest in a tax-free investment option is 36,000 a year. So there are options where you can do this on month-to-month basis. So what you can do, you can deposit on I know Ellen Gray offers at 2,000 rand, but other banks, they offer this at 3,000 rand. So on your second level is an investment. Remember what I mentioned, an investment is associated with risk. So this part is when you invest in shares in the market, when you invest in equity, when you're buying shares, when you're investing in assets, when you're buying properties, when you're doing any of those things. So this investment is associated with risk. There is something that you might lose in this type of investment, but it depends on the risk appetite that you have. There are safer options, which is called unit trust. A unit trust is when you start from as little as 500 rand, you deposit money into that account. Bank also offer this option of investment, and then it starts from as little as 500 rand. You deposit money in that account and it's invested in the different market shares in the industry. So it does pay a higher interest rate, but it does have a risk associated with it, but it's still on the safer options of things. So a unit trust is the available and the most considered the most safest investment option that you can start with before you go aggressively by buying shares, by buying cryptocurrency and all sort of things. So you can do all of those things, they are well and good, but just make sure that all the above saving options that I mentioned, they are already aligned and they're already there. It was informative. I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.